Hello, and welcome to Reflections. I'm Ron Gayoso, your host. Today, our topic is the upcoming Feeling Film Festival, and for that, we have a special talk with the renowned Jamaican artist Paul Campbell. This show is broadcast live via YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. Remember, if you're watching the show via Futures Television, the home of the future on television, or listening to the show via Radio Futures, the wave of the future on radio, you too can be part of this conversation. Please join us on our YouTube channel, that is IMCI Magazine, where we continue to chat about the topic of the day. So before I get started, let me say a few words about Paul Campbell, our guest today. Paul is heralded as Jamaica's most popular contemporary actor of screen and stage. In Jamaica, his distinctive voice can be heard on the local radio as the voice of Feeln FM, where he delivers the station's many sound bites. He is recognized not only in Jamaica, but also throughout the Caribbean, the African American communities in the United States, Canada, United Kingdom, Japan, and throughout Africa. For his leading roles in Palms Pictures' Lunatic, the notorious and forgettable Villain Priest, and Dance Hall Queen, and the highest grossing film out of Jamaica, Third World Cop. In this film, Paul portrays a larger than life heroic cop, Capone, who must wrestle with his personal and professional loyalties. Mr. Campbell, who attended the Jamaica School of Drama in Kingston, Jamaica, is also an accomplished painter whose works have been exhibited in Kingston, Jamaica, London, England, and Lugano, Switzerland. Mr. Campbell has honored at the Media Mix 25th Anniversary Award Ceremony, where he won the Dr. Bird Award, the Jamaican Academy Award, for Excellence of Performing Film and Television. Mr. Campbell has also been awarded the Best Actor Award at the Jamaican Film and Music Festival 2 years in succession. So without further ado, let's welcome Paul Campbell to the show. How are you doing today, Paul?
I'm very well, Ram. How are you, my friend?
Well, thank you so much, and thank you so much for being here. It's so wonderful to see you. Paul,
Oh,
I really want to get started with your journey. So, why acting? So, what ignited your passion for acting?
well, I tell you how it all started. In my formative years, I grew up in a very depressed area,
Mm,
the ghetto, as they call it. I'm from Kingston, Jamaica. And I lived in the ghetto. And because one lived in the ghetto, the depressed area, one had to turn things in one's head, And my mother, was such a darling in that whenever I'd be feeling down or anything like that, she used all these funny voices just to alleviate the down, and the negativity. And so that I developed and I think it's from that. And not only that, but my mother she was a single mom. So
oh,
wherever she went, I was with her. I was her handbag, her pocketbook, so to speak. And this sort of, opened me up to a lot of shows. And I think at a very early age, I got bitten by the bug. I wanted to be just like the guy on the screen.
oh, wow, how wonderful. So, it seems like you are in the show business from a very early age. So, that's important for your formative years, is it not? Did it ignite in you that passion? I mean, when you saw your mother performing, did you say, well, I want to do that too? Is that how it worked for you?
No, it was actually being there and watching my mother's reaction to all the shows that she had attended. Where children have a unique way of just looking at your face, like animals do, and they can tell exactly what your thoughts are. And I thought as a child, my was, in this sort of atmosphere. And I felt that. And for me, I think it started with that. And as it went by, I remember there was a particular show that I'd gone to. I was probably 8 or 9 years old. And just before the feature length started, yeah, my mother took me everywhere.
Oh,
before
wonderful.
the before the feature length started, there was a little sort of supplementary film called Pathé News. And they were showing Kirk Douglas, a very famous Hollywood movie star. and all of the pomp and pageantry that surrounded it, I thought, hey, I could do this, and it just blossomed from there.
How wonderful. You know what? I'm going to ask you a very difficult question now. And I know thou shalt not ask which one is your favorite child, but in this case, you've played so many roles and you are so popular, not just in Jamaica, but throughout the Caribbean and here in the US. Can you tell me which role you most enjoyed playing and why? Why did it connect with you so much?
I tell you what, just right away, the film is called The Lunatic.
Okay, the lunatic.
Yes, The Lunatic. And it was my sort of foray into being the film star and having actually be playing the title role. There were times before that I had 2 days working on a set, and not really a principal actor. But this particular film, and because I'm the method actor, I went out into the wilds for a couple of months. Lost all the weight I needed to look like the character, and did all I needed to do. And so when the time came, but to me, that's the film of my heart, closest to my heart, The Lunatic.
Okay. Well, I can no longer pull my hair out, so people say I'm somewhat of a lunatic too. So I guess I identify with that.
But this is a very, very, very different kind of lunatic in that he is very profound in his madness. But you should see it. It's a beautiful film written by Anthony Winkler.
Wonderful. Okay, well, put that in the list. Actually, there is your profile on IMDb. Folks, I will put the link here
Yes, sir.
in the comment section of this video so you can go and take a look at his filmography, which is extensive. So let's talk a little bit about some of your more recent work, right? And you are running a new project. It's a TV series called In God We Trust. What can you share about this project?
I can't say too much about it because it's in its
Okay.
early embryonic stages. But what I will say, it's very urban, and I get all of the materials from a living every day. See what's happening in the world. These days the news changes every 5 seconds, and all these things are happening, and we're now living in the information age. And whatever you want to know, you speak into a microphone, and up it pops. So this is where we're at, and I'm trying to mirror the society that we're living in. Talking about, I shot 6 minutes of a trailer. I don't know if you were able to see it,
Yeah, the pilot.
but yes, but it talks about people's how their morals, what they will do for money, what they won't do for money, and this is what where the world is headed as far as I'm concerned. There are a lot of times that people, get put in that position to say moralistically, what are you thinking? Are you on the right track? Where you headed? That kind of thing. So I just thought it would resonate with people. And luckily, we've had investors interested in the project. So we are ironing out the kinks, and we hope to start shooting before the end of the year.
Wonderful. Can't wait to see one more of your projects on the beautiful screen. Now,
I can't, neither can I. Yeah.
okay, well, I guess you're more anxious than I am, boss, so I can't wait to see that. So, in addition to working in the film industry, you are also an artist. Well, I can see I'm sitting here and I can see some things in your wall, so I want to change subjects. And
Oh,
I want to talk a little bit about Paul the artist. Okay. Actually, I wanted to go to your Instagram page. I think would be nice to go take a look at that. Let me see if I can go share that. There we are.
oh, beautiful.
So, folks, this is Paul Campbell's Instagram page. So we're switching roles a little bit. We're not talking about the film
The
artist,
actor.
the
It's a
actor,
fine artist.
actor, producer, director. He wears many hats. But
Hmm.
now we're switching to talk about Paul the artist, and so this is his Instagram page. And folks, that is, I'm gonna put this link in the comment section of this video. And again, it's on Instagram.com. It is Paul Paul Campbell CampbellJA. at Instagram. So, Paul, colorful, beautiful images. I want to ask you, where does your inspiration come from?
It comes from everyday life, sure. It comes from questions that I hear people ask as, every day I grow. It comes from my experiences, and it comes from what I'd like to see.
Is this the Caribbean in your paintings? Because it's so beautiful and bright and colorful. You can't stop, but you look amazed when you look at those beautiful artworks you make and you see the vibrant colors, the beautiful imagery. Is that the Caribbean in you that comes out through the paintings?
No, not at all. It's not the Caribbean. I think personally it was my way of not being depressed. I used only
Mhm.
bright colors. And that started way back when I started painting only with one color. There was no money going, so I dried leaves from the tree,
Mhm.
the chlorophyll that were green, and then I painted with the green. So in my early paintings, most of my pieces were green. And I vowed whenever I had money that I could afford it, all of my paintings would be vibrant.
Mhm.
Doesn't matter what the subject matter might be, but colors are absolutely wonderful.
Well, thank you so much for sharing. And it's always interesting to speak with you because you share so much. And you just said you paint to, or you started painting to fight depression. So, how important is it? I would like to hear your message for the people who are dealing with mental health issues right now. So, you found painting, right? And looking at you as successful actor, you would say, well, this guy can't possibly be depressed. So, what is your message for the people out there who are struggling with mental health issues? How can they find their painting? What's their path?
How can they find their passion? Because for me, painting is a passion. Creating is a passion. Realizing from thought to reality is a passion. How does someone suffering mental health get to that point? First of all, I think you have to identify what your passion is. And after you have done so, what I have done, where I was born and where I ended up and places that I've gone, it's because I was persevering on getting there. There was nothing that was ever going to stop me from becoming what I wanted to become. And I now hear people on TikTok saying, "Oh, you should say this mantra to yourself every day." But of 60 odd years ago, I've been doing that, and I've always wanted to be the actor, and I've always wanted to be the artist, and all of these things that I've wanted to be has come to pass. And in saying that, I just want to say to folks with the mental health, sometimes it's very hard. I think mental health, one of the hardest parts of that is to be focused on any one thing. So it might be very flippant for me to just say, yeah, focus on that and stick to it and get it done. But try your very best. That's all I can say. Identify your passion, and try your very best to stick to it. If it's writing that you love, if it's painting that you love, go ahead and do it.
Wonderful. So I want to change subjects again. And where I wanted to
Okay.
go now is I wanted to talk about, oh, you are also a film ambassador. And I want to switch to talk about the Feeln Festival. So let me say a few words about Feeln. So the Feeln Festival is a 100% nonprofit, so music, art, and culture festival that starts in Bahia, Brazil, and exclusively connected with Africa. So Feeling
Mm.
stands for freedom, expression, equality, life, network. The Feeling Festival has one goal: to inspire, support, help, empower, and educate young people and their families around the world, from 6 to 18 years old. And although the focus is on youth and children in need, there is no discrimination. The goal is to help all young people. The Feeling Festival has several foundations and partner entities listed, and they will help the festival achieve its goals. So they will work hand in hand with the Brazilian authorities, more specifically the local community in the city of Salvador in the state of Bahia, Brazil. The Feeln Festival is the first multicultural event of its kind located in the city of Salvador, again in Bahia, Brazil. And they plan to screen dozens of films from a variety of countries. The 5 day event is to take place from December the 5th to December the 9th, 2023, this year, and it will include several events such as an opening ceremony, award ceremony, as well as an opportunity for festival goers to experience concerts. So there's music, there's dance, there's a lot of stuff going on. So the Feeln Festival will be located at the Parque de Exposições Agropecuárias, and that one is a 450,000 square feet place. So it can hold up to 100,000 people
Wow.
in
And
a
we're
place.
expecting a packed house.
That's a lot.
Wonderful.
That's a lot of people. And Paul, I see your handiwork everywhere. And I wanted to talk a little bit about the stuff you did for the festival. I wanted to start with the laurels. So tell me a little bit about the laurels. You designed it. So what were you thinking? How did you make this so unique? What was the inspiration there?
Well, I tell you what, it was a group effort in a meeting that we'd all come together to really discuss what it is that. So it was not all my effort; it was a combined effort. Throwing it out as it should be. As to what direction we should go. And I myself think this is really, really very nice, plain and to the point.
Yeah, I had the pleasure of being in that meeting, and that's where I started working with you. But what really amazed me is to see you creating on the fly. We were just
I
talking.
still, I still remember. I'm sorry. I still remember when you said a hand, a hand, and I thought about it for a little while, but I said, how do I? And then I started looking at the favelas, and then I saw the buildings with the sunbeam bursting on it, with all the vibrant colors, and I was home once again. My vibrancy, my kind of feel, where I'm from, that kind of feel. And so it was nothing from there. The vein, if you notice in that piece, I had the flower coming popping out of the main vein of the arm. There you go. So it's within a people. The arm stretching out, the hand, it's upward. It's man. Let me tell you something. And then when I looked at all of the flower and the wrapping, I had to wrap the arm with the leaves. You know, many years ago or way back in Africa, most of the medicine that we get comes from the earth. So it's the wrapping of the arm. It's the flower that will never stop growing. It's the flower with a purpose that comes from the main vein. It's upward. It's symbol. I love everything about it, man. And I'm so happy that we were able to sort of at least talk about what we would like to see.
Well, it's one thing for us to talk about it. It's another thing to see your work, because when you were talking and exchanging thoughts, and you said a hand. And by the way, guys, this is the award. This is the proper award for the film festival. So the entry that wins the film festival competition receives the award. But when you talk about the hand and the life force coming through the vein, and then the flowers, I said, oh my
Yes,
gosh.
sir.
And there's special significance of that flower, right? It blooms in a very, very special place. It's the favela flower, right? And favela for
This is it, and it will never be rooted away. There's a it will stay. It's a part of the makeup. I'm coming from a place where it's the same thing, my brother. It's the same thing, so I could identify easily.
And folks, so the favela, for the folks who don't speak Portuguese, so that is what we call the poor neighborhoods in Brazil, right? And so Paul used the expression the ghettos in Jamaica. Those are the ghettos in Brazil. And people, we look at those places as eyesores, and they are not. There are people living there. They are artists, their mothers, their fathers, their sons and daughters. They produce beautiful artwork, and they too bloom as a flower. And I thought there was special significance when you added that specific
Yes,
flower,
sir.
the favela flower, to the award, because I think this is the vision of the film festival. It's about inclusion, it's about celebrating, it's about
Yes, sir.
creating a place for everybody. And when I see that life force, and for so many cultures, we tend to look at, the, oh, that's quote not a good neighborhood, right? We tend to shy away, we don't go there, we don't interact with people. But if we had giving ourselves the time or the opportunity to go interact with them, to learn about them, to hear about their experiences and the stuff they do, we would find those beautiful flowers in the artworks. And if you go around the murals, the walls are painted. There are so
Uh,
many artists, right? Street artists, and you say, "Oh, that's street, or that's graffiti." With street artists, right?
yes, yes. I tell you something though. I mean, you the first time in describing the folks, I mean, you just said people, and that's it.
Yeah.
This is what this festival, or this is how I see this festival. It being a global one, it's all about the people and the people telling their stories, submitting their stories, having something to say. It's important. It's a human right. Everyone should have the opportunity to do so. But I'm just more than excited to be associated with this festival, Ram, and I'm truly looking forward to it.
Yeah, folks, let's take a look at the festival proper. So I want to navigate to one other place. So let's look at the Film Freeway page. So this is in Film Freeway. This is the description of Feeling Film Festival. Again, it is created by a 100% nonprofit, and it is a festival. So I'm going to talk just about today, just a little bit about the film festival proper. Again, it's going to take place, and it's going to be 5 days, the December 9th, starting on the 9th, right? And if you have a short film, if you have a pilot, if you have a full feature film, the film festival wants to hear from you. So I'm gonna put this link here. And yes, and Paul Campbell will be looking at those entries. Yes,
Yep.
he's gonna be there. He's gonna be looking at that. And he's a nice
Every
man.
single one of them, every single one of them, all short stories, everything that can be described as celluloid that tells us, has a narrative. We'll be checking it out.
So those entries, Paul will be looking at each and every one of them. So you can certainly ask Paul what he thinks about the entry. Most importantly, he is passionate about the youth. He wants to see you succeed. He wants to see your project to become, a major success in the film industry. So
I
just
want to hear the youth's voice by way of their stories. Please speak up, shout.
tell your stories. Paul is there to hear your stories and to talk to you about them. So, folks, I'll put this link here. Let's navigate to filmfreeway.com, and that's Feeling Film Festival, where you just with a click of a button, you can submit your entry. So, Paul, I want us to stay a little bit about the youth. You are very passionate about the youth. So, and I know not just in your projects, you include a lot of youth. You're always teaching, you're always training, you're always sharing. So for you, tell me about your passion to share what you know with the youth.
For me, as far as film is concerned, it's very easy for me, Ram. I've always the artist.
I think I lost your sound.
Somebody rings. Are we good? Am I still connected?
Yeah, you're
Wonderful.
back. You're back.
But all right, sounds good. Yeah, but quickly just rehash the question.
Yes, yes. So tell me a little bit about. So you do a lot of work with youth. You teach, you
Yes.
train, you bring them into your own projects, and that's one other side of you that I'd like the people to hear more about. So tell me about your
Okay.
passion for the youth, helping the youth, and helping them bring their voices.
Okay, I have an initiative called Shoot with a Camera, Not with a Gun. And what I usually do, I've been doing it for quite a number of years now that I go into schools in America, usually the depressed areas. And I go in for 3 days. The first day I go there, we meet with the students. We talk about their living conditions, where they're living their story. Your Uncle Johnson, who the man that lives next door. We just talk for the first day. And after that, I go back to the hotel, wherever, and I write a very quick, short story. The next day, we meet with the students. I pair them up with the cameraman, the sound man, the man with the lighting, and whoever is going to be in front of the camera and who's going to be the back, because there's so many contributing factors into making one movie. And most people just see being the actor. But the actor just couldn't do it alone. So by the end of the experience, the night of the third day, they're all sitting in this dark room, face illuminated, and they see themselves on the screen. Priceless. So I know each school that I attend and each kid that sees that, if it's even one, that becomes the person who will want to tell the story. Because telling the story, as I always say to the students, are so important. You talk about history not being correct. If you're telling your story, it will be. So it is very important that we do, or start to.
That's amazing. And I think I see a connection between when you were a kid and you're looking at your mother's face. Now you bring these people, the youth, and they're looking, and what is their reaction when they see themselves and their story in the silver screen?
Well, first of all, I'm sure they go through the going through that thing, because I do, and they can't believe it. Their mouths drop open in awe. They want to do the second. When are we going to do this again? So there is that enthusiasm that's been sparked, so I'm happy when that happens, though, and I try to do that, impart that to all of the schools that invite me, to come in and to get that. I've been cited on many occasions by the different mayors, different towns here in America. But the purpose is to pay it forward, man. Pay it forward. It would have been for nothing otherwise.
Yes, so that is a beautiful initiative. Shoot with the camera, not with the gun. That's
Yes,
that's a
sir.
that's also called shooting, but it's a different kind of. So, folks, we're gonna see more of Paul Campbell, and his handiwork will be visible somewhere else. So, of course, let me share a little bit about Feeln. So, Feeln is not just the film festival. Of course, today we're just talking about the film festival, and we're gonna talk a lot more about the film festival. But the event is a 5-day long event, again, December 5th through the 9th in Salvador, Bahia, Brazil. And there's the support of several global initiatives here that I don't have time to mention all of them. But the film, it's not just the film festival. There is a concert where you can see I'm not gonna tell you much about the artists yet because I wasn't given the green light. But there's going to be international, national acts that will be performing at the concert. There are beautiful things. We're talking about more artwork, so we're going to talk with Paul again about more artwork and expression and how people will express themselves. And there's people from all over the world. It's going to be music and concerts and film and food and dancing and artwork and fashion. This is
Wow.
a cultural explosion. It's going to be content
Ocean.
everywhere. And the youth, people are coming from several parts of the world to
That's
Salvador
what is
Bahia.
so. That is what is so exciting for me. Everybody, the Pupere people coming together. Everybody coming together. I love it.
And
Culturally.
imagine all this culture exchange. So for
Hmm.
a young person living in the favela in Salvador, Brazil, who actually never left even town, Then there is an act from India that comes through, an act from China. People, I mean, people from all over the world coming in and sharing their views, their stories, their lives, and hearing
Yeah.
them from the folks who are there telling their stories. And so I can't wait to see, and I can't share more yet. I wasn't given the green light, but I can't wait to see more of your handwork as we talk about more art stuff, more artists coming to town, more of the cultural festivals, more of this beauty. This is going to be a wonderful festival, and we're going to certainly talk more. And folks, it's important that we highlight the beauty of Brazil and the beauty of the African community in Brazil. We tend to talk about immigrants in sense of, oh, the European folks that came, but no, they are the natives with their own language and culture. There are the folks from Africa that were brought against their will to Brazil, but instead of lowering their heads and becoming true slaves, they lifted up their heads and they gave us their food, their religion, their art, their culture. And today, Brazilian culture, and as you know, I was born in Brazil, owes a big debt to them. So this is a place where we celebrate people of all origins, all clothes,
Beautiful.
of all walks of life. So I can't wait for the film festival, and of course for the entire festival to take place. So again, we could certainly talk a lot longer about the film festival and about feeling, but I'm afraid that's all the time we have for today. Paul, thank you so much for
Oh,
the work
thank you for
today.
having me, Ron.
And thank you so much for sharing your passion. I can't wait to see more of your handiwork and your message. You with the youth, you with the kids, and showing them and working with the camera and telling their stories. So I can't wait. You have to promise you're gonna come back, right?
I will. I will. I most definitely will. And I can't wait to see you guys. I can't wait to get that feeling.
They're feeling, and that's why this is about
Yeah.
feeling, right?
Yes, sir.
How wonderful. And by the way, folks, feel free to submit your comments and questions on our YouTube page. And I'll make sure to read and present them to Paul. Paul, again, he will be there. He will watch every single one of the entries. So you want a internationally world-renowned actor and artist to see your work, that's or your chance. Let's go to that feeling free film freeway and submit. Paul is waiting to see your work. Again, thank you guys so very much for your presence here and your participation in the show. You can always reach out to the magazine, to me, the host, via Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and YouTube. Again, Paul, thank you so very much for your time
You
today, and I hope to see you soon.
bye bye. Thank you for having me, Rob.
Thank you. And folks, again, time for us to say our big thank yous and goodbye. I hope to see you again soon in another edition of Reflections. And I will leave you with our institutional message. Goodbye.